Welcome to an all-new episode of The Real Steven TV.
And here we go.
Mainstream press. Video game devs come out in full force to run defense for Sweet Baby Inc. Do you want another Gamergate? Because this is how you get another Gamergate. To the surprise of no one, the mainstream press, as well as members of other Western video game industry, have responded to the recent and well-deserved scrutiny leveled at the work of inclusion-focused narrative consulting company Sweet Baby Inc. by doing their best to run defense for their ideological allies. The circling the wagons around Sweet Baby Inc. first kicked off on March 6 with Kotaku published a piece by site senior editor Alison Mercante headlined Sweet Baby Inc. doesn't do what some gamers think it does. Therein, Mercante not only attempted to play shocked victim after she was kicked from the Discord server for the Sweet Baby Inc. detected Steam curated list whilst trying to dig up dirt on the company's detractors. After all, what did she expect when she used her real name and photo on the profile she used to infiltrate the server? That was brilliant. I was like, come on, people. Use a little more imagination when you're going to do this. But it attempted to portray the consultation company's DEI work, despite it being highlighted at nearly every single turn on the official website as nothing more than minuscule, insignificant part of their operation. Sweet Baby Inc. ensures a game's plot point makes logical sense and are satisfying to players, and that characters speak and behave in consistent ways, wrote the Kotaku editor. Her use of vague and generic language ostensibly meant to obfuscate the company's own self-declared mission to make the titles they work on more inclusive. That means they ensure a game's plot points make logical sense and are satisfying to players, and the characters speak and behave in consistent ways. Narrative designers may also provide a final round of polish like Hollywood script doc. Following Kotaku stepping into the ring, and while Mercante turned her attention to denying the existence of anti-white racism and condescendingly writing off YouTuber Loriana Creole, I know I'm not saying her name right, I've watched a lot of her videos, I'm so sorry, as a pick-me girl for daring to disagree with her, PC Gamer's Harvey Randall entered the fray the next day, writing a piece for the outlet which framed the backlash to Sweet Baby Inc.'s involvement in recent titles as nothing more than infinite whining from the internet's worst actors, admittedly beginning with the correct assertion that Sweet Baby is about as capable of forcing a game developer to make grand sweeping changes to its story and characters as a contracted artist, musician, or catering company staff worker for office birthdays is. Randall eventually pivoted from framing their work as no big deal, though hilariously even he is unable to truly deny that while Sweet Baby Inc. may not have authoritative decision-making powers on games, their work was clearly being listened to and sought after by developers. In this sense, Sweet Baby work is literally a non-event, said Randall. Not in the sense that it is important. I mean that its work is not normal, that it should surprise no one. Yes, Sweet Baby explicitly consults on issues including the accurate representation in marginalized groups. That is what it helps with. But if that wasn't important to the people making the games they work on, then Sweet Baby just wouldn't be hired. I mean, we know that groups like Sweet Baby Inc. is hired because there are certain companies that want that particular woke quota, and they hire these groups and listen to them because they know, like, oh hey, if we do what these people say, you know, it'll make us look good in the eyes of the woke crowd, people who don't really play these games that much or don't really care about this stuff that much, but we're gonna pander to them anyways. That's why they hire groups like Sweet Baby. Stepping into the ring the next day, the Guardian's Keza McDonald escalated the fight even further by outright declaring that it's 10 years since Gamergate. The industry must now stand up to the far-right trolls. 10 years ago, it was female game journalists and critics in the firing line, she declared. This time, it's narrative designers, but the conspiracist message is the same. Diversity has no place in games. If you are a woman, if you're queer, or a person of color working in the industry, you should expect the worst. Further attempting to frame Sweet Baby Inc. as the victim of a rising Gamergate 2.0, McDonald ultimately asserted, nobody is forcing diversity into video games is happening naturally. As players and developers themselves diversify, Gamergate didn't intimidate women out of video games 10 years ago, and it won't be intimidating now. As noted above, it was not just the press who leapt to defend Sweet Baby Inc., as numerous members of the Western video game industry also saw fit to push back against the company's critics. No, Sweet Baby did not kill your game, declared Insomnia Games Associate Narrative Director Mary Kinney, followed a lengthy Twitter thread as documented by Nerdigans Inc., in which she clarified the above point that it was the studios, not the consulting company, that had final say in games' contents, and again ignoring that despite these studios having a say, they were clearly not choosing to exercise it. If they have beef, it was with us. Keep it with us. But again, they're creating these games, and then they're doing all this modern day California crap, and then all this stuff just comes out and it's just boring.
Modern day Californian shit, 'cause that's all we know, 'cause we're boring. We're so boring.
Thank you, Az. Oh, and this comes from a particular person, Thick as Yosh. Interesting. And according to Geeks and Gamers from Geeks Gamers Daily this morning that I watched, shout out to Geeks Gamer, this person has already taken down this tweet. So this is one of the places, if you want to see what this person said, you can read it here on Bounding into Comics. If you're mad about DI ruining games, you need to grow up. Likewise asserted a Bungie senior narrative designer who only identified themselves as Thickest Yosh on Twitter. You need to stop wasting so much time on grifters who are only there to manipulate you and milk your anger for engagement. You need to talk to people who aren't like you a bit more. You need to stop falling in for this. So people aren't allowed to have their own opinions and everything and know what looks good and, you know, is actually fun and everything. And you know, one of the things about video games is it's supposed to be about escapism. And there's nothing wrong with putting some realistic things into games once in a while, but there's some things that just don't make sense. Like if you have a superhero that, say, the ability that could easily repair any damage that they might have or something like that, like, say, Green Lantern. Why would you see a Green Lantern that's in a wheelchair? That doesn't make any sense, because the powers of the Green Lantern would be able to ultimately heal himself over time, or herself. Also, you have the ability to fly. And if you, for some reason, say you couldn't use your legs, then why would you just roll around in a wheelchair all the time when you can easily just fly yourself around? Because, you know, you're a Green Lantern. So that doesn't make any sense. But that's something that, say, Sweet Baby Inc. would be like, hey, you should do this because it looks good. No, I'm sure a lot of people, if they were in a wheelchair imagining to be a Green Lantern, they wouldn't imagine themselves being in a wheelchair anymore. They would imagine that they probably have been healed and that they're able to do great, amazing feats now and be able to fly around the galaxy and stuff. And that's the kind of thing that they're imagining and wanting to be. And as you can see down at the bottom right there, there is a mention of Rippaverse. Shout out to Eric July and Rippaverse, because Yaira has launched today. If you're watching this video today, then today is the official launch of Yaira #1. I personally have gone out and purchased my copy. I got the cover D. Hopefully some of y'all will go out and purchase your copies of Yaira 2 and help out the Rippaverse. All right, leave your comments down below about this whole situation, what you think about everything. Don't forget to hit that like button. It helps to share it out. Also, click that subscribe button. It is totally free to do, and I will catch all of you next time.
Who are you?
A friend.